On this week's video, we're going to pick up where we left off last week. If you'll recall, I knit a really ugly sock, was really unhappy about it, and so now I've got to start over. I was hoping to release a cool free sock pattern on Leap Day. That didn't happen because I knit an ugly sock. So now we're going to start over this week and come up with something hopefully that's a lot better. So stay tuned, all of that and more coming up. Yeah, it's just very meh. Like, ooh, I don't know. Like, the more I look at it, the more I'm like, oh, I really hate that. I really hate that sock. We're going to start over. I'm going to take you along, of course, and show you what starting over looks like. And hopefully I'll come up with something that looks a lot better and that fits a lot better and that you're going to enjoy knitting a lot more. So let's get started again. Okay, so I've pulled out all of my tubs of Tonals from the yarn closet, and now I'm about to dig through them again. I do have an idea of something I want to try based on the first sock that we are now abandoning. So I'm going to dig through these Tonals and find a new color palette that I like a lot better, hopefully, and then we'll get started. I don't know what to do. I'm like, I have an idea of what I want to do in my head, but like the colors aren't coming to me. I think I feel stressed out and nervous that the first idea didn't work, and so I don't know what to do now. I feel stuck. So I don't know. Maybe I need to take a walk or something. Probably eat, because these colors are not talking to me at all. I'm just looking at them and I just have no idea. Okay, so this is where I'm at right now. I know that my cuff is going to have some stripes on it, and then the body of the sock is going to have texture, still inspired by retro gym socks. So I'm thinking this with these two colors as the stripes, and then this blue for the body of the sock. Or I could do the cream with the pink and the hot pink for the stripes, and this as the body of the sock. So that's, I like both of them equally, and now I don't know which one to do. I feel like this one is more of a risk. I feel like I know that's going to look good, but that also feels kind of safe. And this feels a little more risky. Don't know if I want to take a risk after what just happened, knitting an entire sock that I hate. I don't know which one to do. This one or this one. This one or this one. So I've got some more staring and thinking to do, and hopefully I'll pick the right one. Okay, I've made my selection, and I decided to go with the safer option. Because I'm a big old chicken after what happened with my last sock, since it was a disaster. You notice how I keep getting more dramatic about this other sock. Like, it started out, I don't like it, it's just kind of meh. And now I'm like, it's a disaster. It's the worst sock I've ever knit in my entire life. It's like the ugliest sock. Because I just knit the world's ugliest sock, I'm feeling a little scared to push myself in terms of color. So I know that I love this. I know it makes me feel happy, and I know it looks good. And so I'm going to go with that safer option instead of trying the combination that seems kind of exciting and cool, but then may turn out to be totally a go. So we're going to cast on. I'm going to be doing 2x1 rib with stripes for this cuff. So I'm going to cast on, get some of the cuff going, and then I'll show you the progress. And then I'm really excited about this texture stitch I'm going to be doing. It's still gonna have kind of a tomboy sporty look to it. So it's still gonna have that like retro gym sock vibe. It's just not gonna be such a literal interpretation of a retro gym sock. All right, I am done with my cuff. So still has kind of that retro gym sock vibe. I used 3 different colors for the cuff, as you can see, and I love it. Really, I never not love pink. So of course I love it. But I actually knit this pretty quickly. I think it only took a couple of hours, and I only got distracted a couple of different times. I got distracted once because I needed to Google to see how old all the people in Fleetwood Mac are. I needed to know right then. And then I got distracted another time because I bought a hot yoga class. I actually took one hot yoga class like a year ago, and I hated it because it made me feel claustrophobic and like I was going to have a panic attack. But it'll be totally different this time, I'm sure. What is that thing about? It's just really stupid to like keep doing the same thing and expect different results. But for whatever reason, I decided I need to take a hot yoga class tomorrow. I need to try again, see if I like it, even though last year I didn't at all. Those are the 2 things that distracted me. And so it probably took a little longer than it should have because I was Googling Fleetwood Mac members and how old they are, and then signing up for another hot yoga class. But really happy with this little cuff. And now we can get on to the texture portion of the sock. I definitely feel better about this one at this point than I did about the other horrible sock at this point, like when I had knit the cuff and I was like, I don't know. I feel like I know this is great, and it will be hilarious if I'm wrong. And I end up tearing this out, and then this whole video is just like, watch me knit 2 ugly socks. Okay, so I've knit the cuff, and then I've started on my main color on the body of the sock, and I don't like it. It looks pretty, like the colors look good together. I feel like it's just kind of boring. It just feels kind of flat. It doesn't feel exciting to me. I don't know. I do think that these colors look really, really pretty together. It just feels flat. It just feels boring, and I just don't know what's wrong with me. I can't. It's kind of hard when you have a sock you don't like, or if you design something you don't like, so you start over again, and then you don't like that either. It's just like, it's just super frustrating. And then you really start doubting yourself. Like, that's it. I can't come up with anything good ever again. So, I'm just feeling really bummed about it. And I feel stuck. Like I don't know where to go. I do like the stitch pattern. It's just the colors. So I need to go back and pick a different color palette and try again. Just keep going. That's all you can do, is just keep going. It's just harder sometimes when you feel stuck and you feel like you are the least creative person ever. So, which is how I feel right now, because this is such a boring color palette. And so that's where we're at in the afternoon, 3 o'clock. We're just having a bit of an existential crisis over color selection on a sock. Not the end of the world, but it sort of feels that way. Okay, I feel that little like trill of excitement again. This is what sock knitting does to you. It is an emotional roller coaster, which I know, like, no one would believe you. If you told anyone outside of knitting the kinds of like horrifically high and low emotions you can experience while just trying to knit a freaking sock, like, they'd be like, you need to settle down. That's like, you need to just settle down. That's all on you for getting that excited or that depressed about a sock. But I swear, like, so a second ago I was feeling really bummed out because my stupid sock was boring. I like the design, I like the texture, I just didn't like the colors I picked. But we're back. I think I've got 2 combinations that I like so much that I might just knit them both. Don't have time to knit them both, but I don't know if I'll be able to help myself. So first combination. There we go. Yeah, loving this. I don't knit with purple that often, and I feel like I need to change that. So the purples would be the stripes, and then the yellow tweed would be the body of the sock. And I love tweed, like love working with tweed yarn. So love that combination. But then, oh, look at this. I love that one too, like so, so much. So I love them both. I don't know which one to knit first. I'm really excited by both, and I hope that neither one of these let me down. But this one, I would do the red and like the sand color as the stripes, and then the turquoise tweed as the body of the sock. And this is the same turquoise tweed that I used on the toes in the last pair of socks that I knit when I redid the Barber socks. And I always love like being able to reuse yarn again so quickly, because then I don't forget that I have it. So yeah, I'm really excited about both of these. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. It could be another big fat disappointment. But at least we're back in the game, and I'm excited again. I don't feel as hopeless and sad and stuck. So all right, I'm going to get started. I'm not sure which one I'm going to go with first, but I'm going to get started on one of them. So I have been filming all day, and I just didn't even like think about what I was wearing today. I just kind of like threw stuff on to get the kids to school, and I feel like I am dressed like a resident of a penal institution, a penitentiary. I don't like the word penal. A prison. I look like a prisoner. I'm just wearing like gray, and like I just look super drab today. That's probably why. This is the number one reason why my socks have been a disaster today. Look at me. I'm just completely like, I'm not even dressed inspiring. So that's probably part of the problem. I did start knitting the new design in the new colors yesterday, and I'm pretty happy with how it's turning out. So this is what we got. This is where we're at. I love the red and the beige with the like turquoise tweed. I think that is really just perfect. As you can see, I did like the retro stripes, like the gym sock stripes on the cuff. And then I'm doing a garter stitch and slip rib pattern, like a slip stitch pattern on the body of the sock. And even just looking at it in the camera, it looks really good. So I don't want to get my hopes up because I thought that the last sock looked good too as I was knitting the cuff and the leg, and I didn't really start having mega doubts about it until I finished it and tried it on. So hopefully that won't be the case with this one, but I'm going to keep knitting, gonna keep going, gonna finish this sock as quick as I can so I can see what it looks like, because I've got to move past this I've got to move past this project and do something else. Like, we're very happy with it right now. That doesn't mean anything. So I'm gonna keep knitting. Okay, it's now the morning of day 6 or 7. I've lost track. I'm at the point in this project where I'm just extremely ready to be done. I'm over it. Last night, I did not get very far. I had high hopes. I'm on the foot. I'm done with the heel. I'm done with the gusset. I'm on the foot. I had high hopes that I would just like blow through and finish it last night. I just like forget how fast I can knit, and it's like sort of fast, but not fast enough to do what I intended to do yesterday. And this is me all the time. I just think, oh, I can just knit this in a day. It's no problem. I can't knit it in a day. And part of it's because I get distracted so easily and I'm Googling shorts. I'm whatever. Stuff pops in my head and I'm like, I have to Google it right away. And this is why I miss the 90s, because there was no option to Google things you didn't know. You'd have to physically leave your house, go to a library, look stuff up in the Dewey Decimal System to find the book that could potentially tell you what it was you wanted to know. And no one's doing that. So in the 90s, when you wanted to know something, you just didn't know it and you kept working and doing what you were supposed to be doing. And that's not the case now. I definitely need to like put my phone in a lockbox or something while I'm working so that I cannot Google every little thing that pops into my head. So today, the plan is we're going to try and finish this stupid sock. Like, it's not stupid. I love it. It's a cute sock, but it's stupid because I want to be done. I already have like ideas for my next sock and a sweater like percolating. And so I just want to get onto those things. I've ordered yarn for a sweater and it's going to be arriving soon. So I just need to be done with this so I can move on. So that's the plan. I've got to take my kids to school in a minute. As soon as I get back from taking them to school, then it's on. I'm going to finish this sock so that I can move on with my life and move on to other projects. Fit check before taking the kids to school. I'm wearing my red hibernal hat. It was really warm the last several days, like in the 80s. And then all of a sudden it got really cold again. So it's like 25 degrees outside. It's really cold. So I look really nice from the waist up, but sweatpants from the waist down. Okay, so I'm making good progress. I'm knitting without distraction, and so I've set myself a little challenge. It is currently 10 o'clock in the morning. I calculated that it takes me 24 minutes to do an inch of knitting on this particular sock with this stitch pattern. I have about 5.5 inches left to go until I'm done with the foot and can start the toe. So like 5.5 times 4 minutes, it was like 132 minutes. So like roughly like a little over 2 hours. So my goal is to get done with this sock, or at least to get done with the foot by 12:30. I want to be done knitting the foot by 12:30. It's 10 o'clock now. So that's my challenge. I'm going to try to hit it. That means knitting without stopping, no distractions for 2.5 hours. Let's see if I can do it. Okay, it's 11 a.m. I'm checking in. It's been an hour into my challenge. And this is what I've got done. The gold marker is where I started. So I started here at 10 and it's now 11 and I've done that much. So that's a little over 2 inches, just like barely over 2 inches, 25 rows or rounds. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to make it by 12:30. If Dave were here, he could do the math and tell me if I'm on track, but he's like back in the office on a conference call, so he can't do my math for me. I don't know. So yeah, 2 inches down, 3.5 inches to go. 2 plus 3 is 5. Yeah, so I've got 3.5 inches to go in the next hour and a half. And I don't know if I can do it. It'll be close, but that's still pretty good. I feel like this is a pretty good chunk of knitting, for this little power hour of knitting. And I've been really good. Haven't Googled anything. And like, it's piling up. Like, I really want to Google how hot is it in August in the Grand Canyon. I want to Google t-shirts because I wear the same t-shirt. I have like 3 t-shirts that I like that I wear over and over again. And my teenage son needs t-shirts too. So I want to Google t-shirts. And then this punk band called The Descendants are coming to Tulsa. And so I want to Google the date that they're coming. And then so I can get tickets because both my kids want to go. So all this stuff is like piling up that I want to Google, and I'm refraining. I'm doing so good at not just like Googling things that pop into my head. So I've got an hour and a half to go to try and get the rest of this little foot done. And then I can do the toe after I eat. I have to eat lunch, and then I'll do the toe. And then do you know what I'm going to do next? I'm going to cast on for the second freaking sock. So I'm laughing just because I'm so ready to be done with these socks. Like, because this has been such a journey, because it just started off on the wrong foot, I'm just over this project. I love the sock itself. It's turning out so cute. I'm very excited about it, but I'm ready to be done. And I have like all these ideas popping up for the next things that I want to knit, like I said earlier. So that's like all I can think about is just wanting to cast on and start figuring out like this next design that I'm excited about. So anyways, I guess I better just shut my big bazoo and get back to knitting because it's 11:03. I'm cutting into my time. I have an hour and 27 minutes left to knit 3.5 inches. So we'll see. Don't look at me. I saw you. All right, it's 12:31 and I finished the foot. I was 1 minute over my time, but I finished it, and that means I get to eat. And then when I finish eating, I'll do the toe, weave in the ends, give it a bath, and then get started on the second sock, which I now feel excited to do now that I met my challenge. I wanted to finish the foot in 2.5 hours. Okay, it's almost 4. I've got one sock on the blocker, and I've got the cuff done on the second sock. Unfortunately, I was not paying attention, and I knit this a little different than the other cuff. As you can see, I knit too many beige rounds at the top of the cuff, so it's not going to be an exact match. The perfectionist in me hates that, but I'm too tired to go back and redo it. It's just how it's going to be. So I've got the cuff done. I really want to finish this sock before I go to bed tonight. I do not want to wake up tomorrow and have to keep knitting on this pair of socks. So it's almost 4 now. It's 3:50. My goal is to get the leg, the heel, and the gusset decreases done by 7, because then I've just got the foot. And as I learned this morning, I can knit that foot in 2.5 hours. So if I'm done with the leg, the heel, and the gusset decreases by 7, and I'm starting on the foot at 7, then theoretically I could be done with the foot by 9:30, and then toes done, give it a bath, put it on the blockers by 10:30, and then I can get to bed hopefully by 10:30, 11. Again, I'm not always very realistic about how quickly I can finish things. So, okay, it is 7:45, and I still have like 2 rows left on my heel flap. You'll recall I was like, I think I can be done with the heel flap and the heel turn and the gusset decreases on the leg by like 7, and then I can start on the foot and be done by 9:30. I'm sorry, I just have to laugh at myself. I don't know why I think that I knit faster than I do. I literally knit all the time. You would think that I would be well acquainted with my knitting speed at this point. But for some reason, all the time, I overestimate my ability to knit things in a specific time. And this is one of those times. We are closing in on 8 o'clock, and I still have 2 rows to go on the heel flap. Then I've got to do the heel turn, then the gusset, and then the foot, and then the toe. I don't know. I'm still determined to finish this tonight because I'm super excited about my next sock idea, and like I want to get started on that. Meanwhile, my left hand is like half numb at this point. So like finishing an entire, like the rest of this sock, look how much I have to go. Finishing that tonight and then starting a whole new one tomorrow is so unrealistic. Like wildly unrealistic. But in my head, it's like, that's the plan. So, I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, I'm going to eat a grilled cheese sandwich now because I have time for that. And then just keep going and see where we end up. I mean, there is a 22% chance that I will stay up until God knows when to finish this sock. Like it's a very low chance. But in my head, it's like 100%. That's what's happening. I'm going to do that. And then tomorrow start a whole new sock with my half numb hand. All right, it's morning again. It's day 8 of this challenge. I don't know. I've honestly lost count. I have no idea. So the big question is, did I finish that second sock last night? No, of course not. I can definitely finish it this morning though. I am past the gusset decreases. I'm on to the foot. And as I proved yesterday, I can knit that foot, in about 2.5 hours. So that's my goal. Finish the sock this morning completely, be done with it, move on to my next project, which hopefully will look good from the beginning and I won't have to go back and like reknit and come up with a completely new design. So that's where we're at this morning. Did not finish my sock last night, but I mean, we all kind of knew that was probably going to be the case. So, all right, I'm going to get started and finish this sock. It is 12:55 and I finished the second sock. It's done. That's it. It's done. I finished it and I'm so happy. Oh my God. I am not going to put myself in this position again if I can help it because it is brutal. And I know I'm being so dramatic, like it's just knitting, but that's really tough, knitting that much. So I'm going to go block this little sock and then, then I can show you what the finished socks look like. Okay, well that's a wrap on this week. Thank Beasley. I really hope you enjoyed this week's episode and following along with me as I designed a new sock pattern. As you saw, it doesn't always go very smoothly. We started out here. I knit this entire sock thought it was really cute until I finished it, blocked it, got it on, and then decided it was the ugliest sock that ever lived. And so we started over again, and we ended up here with these adorable socks that I'm very happy with. And I did enjoy knitting the first one. It's just the second one that just about did me in, but I got them finished. So I've got my pair of socks for this week. If you'll recall, I'm doing a challenge where I try and knit a pair of socks every week. So I did get this week's pair in. It was down to the wire, but I got it. And this is a free pattern. You can find it on Ravelry and on my website. I will have the links to that below. And there will be a special coupon code for my Ravelry store and Etsy and my website in that pattern. So when you download the pattern, make sure you look for that special coupon code because it's in there. So yeah, thank you for following along with me this week. You can find my email if you've got any burning questions in the description below the video, as well as links to my Ravelry store, links to this free pattern, not this one. This one I'll have to figure out at some point. We'll have to tweak that one. But you can basically find links to everything, all my social media. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next week.